Welcome, everybody. Well, good morning. What a beautiful day in Cincinnati. First of all, let me tell you that we can win the Amazon.com bid. We have the best story to tell. We have the best combination of assets that Amazon.com is looking for. I'm not here to promise you we will win, but I promise you that we will be taken seriously and that we have a real chance to win this bid. Point number two, one of the most exciting things about our city and our region is that we believe we can win. And I suggest to you that that is a change in culture. It's a change that we believe in ourselves and we believe in our future. And I'm not sure that 10 years ago or 20 years ago, we would have believed that we were competitive for something like this. But we are. And we are because of the work of both sides of the river, of multi-generation effort, of multi-administration efforts to revitalize and build a dynamic and exciting city. And this has been a long-term generational effort by many leaders on both sides of the river, the business community, the government leaders, the nonprofit sector, to build a more exciting city. Look at how beautiful it is here on the banks. Now, I want to give other people a chance to speak, but I did put together, and I'm very excited about this, and the authorship of this is my own with the help of my team. And so if other people disagree, it's not on, I'm not putting words in anyone else's mouth. But here are the top 10 reasons that I believe Amazon.com should pick Cincinnati. Number 10, we are the consumer marketing capital of the world. Amazon.com is literally in the consumer marketing business. They're literally, that's what they do. Cincinnati has 60,000 jobs in the consumer marketing field outside of P&G, Kroger's, and Macy's that support those great companies. And so there is no greater ecosystem of consumer marketing support for Amazon.com, small businesses in that space, than Cincinnati. Number 9, we have an amazing quality of life in quality neighborhoods. Obviously, the city has 52 neighborhoods, but the region has wonderful neighborhoods. Over the Rhine just made the list of the top 5 great neighborhoods in the U.S., according to the American Planning Association. Our Town America ranked us as the number 12 fastest growing city in America based on their data in 2017. Number 8, we are green and sustainable. We have the best urban park system in America. Mount Airy Forest is the largest urban park in America. We have this Smale Riverfront Park. We have Washington Park. We have Ziegler Park. We have Alt Park, Eden Park, Mount Echo, and on and on and on. There is green space available in an urban setting like no other city. And, by the way, we are committed to going energy-free by 2035. And Site Selection magazine just listed us as the #1 city in the U.S. for environmental sustainability. Number 7, this one's a little bit longer because it has the most amount of fun, and that's literally entitled, We Are Fun. How can you argue with Blink? What city could have pulled off Blink last week with 1 million people? The largest Oktoberfest in the world outside of Munich. Unbelievable festivals all the time happening. In addition, we have obviously the Reds, the Bengals, FC Cincinnati, a minor league hockey team. We hosted the All-Star Game. We're one of only 13 cities in the U.S. that have all 5 arts: ballet, opera, art museum, symphony, and theater. One of only 13 that have all 5. We boast more than 50 museums, including, of course, the Taft Museum, the Art Museum, the Union Terminal, the Underground Railroad Freedom Center, and our art collection is bar none in the Midwest. Of course, we have a great zoo and aquarium. We have arts, culture, sports, and, by the way, we're, according to Smart Asset, number 5 best for foodies in the country. Number 6, we are an inclusive city and proud of it. In fact, we have three Fortune 500 companies that are members of the $1 Billion Roundtable, which means that they spend $1 billion with African-American-owned businesses annually. $1 billion. The city, under the manager and the city council and my leadership, have created an Office of Economic Inclusion. We've dramatically expanded opportunities for African-American businesses. We see that as part of our future. In addition, we're establishing with the Chamber of Commerce, who is here, Compass, to promote the internationalism of our city. Our great companies and hospitals like Children's and GE and Procter & Gamble bring people from around the world all the time. The Human Rights Campaign Municipal Index, 4 years in a row, has given us the top score for being LGBT friendly. Number 5, education. With a number of outstanding public and private schools, Cincinnati has great educational opportunities for kids of families moving here. U.S. News & World Report ranks Walnut Hills High School as number 1 in Ohio and number 47 in the country. We have 299 colleges and universities within a 200-mile radius of Cincinnati, including, of course, UC, Xavier University, NKU, Miami, et cetera, and Cincinnati State. So families that are moving here will have great opportunities for their kids. Number 4, we are significantly more affordable than our competitors. We have a 30% lower cost of living than the East and West Coast, coupled with good wages. CNBC said that we are number 7 best place where you can live well on a $60,000 salary. Number 7. Compared to Seattle, housing is 139% more expensive in Seattle. Transportation, 36% more expensive. Groceries are 36% more expensive in Seattle. Utilities are 32% more expensive in Seattle, and healthcare is 31% more expensive in Seattle. Number 3, we have, I believe, the most amount of space of any other city in America in an urban, walkable setting that is ready to go, shovel ready. And that's why we're having this press conference here. Between the available land here on the banks that is shovel ready and the Ovation site in northern Kentucky that is shovel ready, we can accommodate the first phase, which is anticipated to be the next 10 years, of over 1 million square feet of office space immediately. Amazon has made it clear they want to be in an urban setting, but they also need a lot of space. And it is very rare that a great American city like Cincinnati would have that much space available in such a centralized location. Number 2, we are business friendly. KPMG in 2016 said we're the number 1 most cost-friendly business location in the U.S. We have 6 Fortune 500 companies located in downtown and 9 in the region. We're home to a burgeoning startup community at Over the Rhine at Union Hall. We have accelerators and incubators. We hosted the Techstars FounderCon in 2016. Fundamentally, Amazon will be in good company with P&G and Macy's and Kroger's and Western Southern and Great American and Cintas and all these companies in our region that are so big. They have supplier networks that create synergies, and a rising tide lifts all boats. And our number 1 reason, in my opinion, is our people. The people of our region, in my opinion, are the hardest working and smartest people available to fill the jobs that Amazon.com is looking to fill. We have a talented workforce of 1.3 million people. We have more than 1 million students enrolled in more than 299 colleges within a 200-mile radius. Forbes magazine says in 2016 that we are the best up-and-coming city for recent college grads, and Smart Asset says that we are in 2017 says we are the number 1 city for college grads. The jobs that Amazon.com is hiring for are college graduate jobs at a minimum. And the people that looked at cities across the country say that Cincinnati is number 1 for college graduates. So I believe that we have a real shot, and I believe these are just 10 reasons among many others, why we should win. So I'd like to give Vice Mayor Mann and Councilmember Flynn and anyone from the chamber, the manager, want to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. That's an impressive list. And I agree with John that it is one of the reasons that our application, our submission is going to be so strong. There are a couple of other insights I would offer. I started out across the river, and that bridge that's behind us is very symbolic. When I was a kid, it was very broad, the river, and for a lot of reasons, we understand now that we are one area and we need to work together. So it's exciting to hear the collaboration that has brought us to this point. The other thing that I would say is that, and I think this distinguishes it as well, every day in a lot of different ways, the city is recognizing its obligation to address childhood poverty, deficiencies in education, higher unemployment rates in some of our neighborhoods, higher mortality, infant mortality rates, lower life expectancy rates, those things that will make our community as wonderful for all of our citizens as possible. And I'm not sure other cities are as concentrated on that need as we are. So I think that makes us even stronger in our application. So thank you, Mayor, for bringing us together and leading this charge.
I think the mayor left off one reason. We've got Moorline House right here. We've got Yard House right here. Beer.
Beer, yes.
You know, it's funny, the three of us here have grown up, have lived our lives in Cincinnati, and in many ways, that defines Cincinnati, is people never leave. Well, there's a reason people don't leave Cincinnati. It's because it's a great city. But we're going to hear very shortly from the city manager, who came from outside the city and loves our city just as much as those of us who were born and raised here. But I think that Amazon would make a great partnership with our region. The Vice Mayor said it great. The bridge is a great symbol of truly reaching that regionalism that we strive so hard to get to. And we're not moving companies back and forth across the river. We're truly bringing in and creating wealth in our area. And Amazon would be well served by coming to our city. Thank you.
Good morning. I just want to acknowledge and thank. Obviously, something like this requires a lot of effort, a lot of resources, and a lot of people. Our Department of Community Economic Development, the Chamber of Commerce, staff from the mayor's office, as well as Ready Cincinnati. They worked very diligently over the past couple of weeks to make this happen. Again, the mayor's 10 points with Councilman Flynn's additional point. To sum it all up, it's all here in Cincinnati. That says it all. So Cincinnati is one of the most desirable destinations in the country. We have higher ed, we've got medicine, we've got the arts and culture, we've got technology, we've got a dynamic and impactful business ecosystem here. So if Amazon knows what's good for itself, it will select Cincinnati. Thank you.
Thank you. Brendan, you guys want to say anything? The Chamber of Commerce is here. They've been very helpful in all this. And the CVB, thank you. Well, that's all we got for now. Any questions? Yeah. Well, that's not true. I just got a I'm going to look it up right now. I got a text yesterday from a magazine that said we were number 2 behind Atlanta if you looked at their rankings. Let me find that real quick. Here it is. I got this from someone texted me this yesterday from chainstorage.com. which is the Macy's. It's the Macy's Professional Association group, and their group, I guess, is some kind of magazine that they did. They did an analysis of Amazon's request and ranked it all the major cities in the country that expressed an interest in applying. And according to their analysis, and it says Alpha Flow, which is this group, considered 5 factors in singling out 14 cities as a prime sites for Jeff Bezos' second home. Number 1, increase in housing price index over the last 25 years. Number 2, housing price index over the last 12 months. Adjusted gross income, increase, decrease in building permits, and median home value. Under that analysis that chainstorage.com put together yesterday, they ranked them in the following order. Atlanta, which I think we can beat Atlanta, but they put them ahead of us. We're number 2, according to this national group. Number 3 is Memphis, then Louisville, Nashville, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Minneapolis, Kansas City, Denver, Austin, New Orleans, Dallas, Philadelphia. I would suggest to you, John, I didn't write this. I don't know anything about this group, but it's an objective group that looked at these objective measures of median income and housing prices, et cetera. I would suggest that the news outlets that say that Pittsburgh or Austin are number 1 are from Pittsburgh and Austin news outlets. And what we need is the Cincinnati outlets to say that Cincinnati is in the best position to win this thing. Because I do believe that Amazon.com will read the press and see if our local media outlets believe in us the way we, the people of Cincinnati, believe in ourselves. Well, I know that the mayor of Dayton is committed to being part of our bid. You know, the way this thing was submitted was not by us directly. So there is all kinds of confidentiality that we don't have privy to. For example, we know that we bid together with Northern Kentucky, but we never got to see the Northern Kentucky bid. It was all submitted under a non-disclosure agreement. So I'm not in a position to be able to answer to what extent Dayton was included. I know that the mayor of Dayton committed to being part of it.
What specifics can you give us about our bid? What can you tell us other than the fact we know about the bank, the organization, and maybe the IRS center location?
Right. I can tell you 3 things. I can tell you 3 things that I know, and then a bunch of stuff I can just identify for things that I don't know. What I do know is that we made a collaborative bid between Ohio and Kentucky, Northern Kentucky, and Cincinnati. I have not seen, as I mentioned, not only have I not seen Northern Kentucky elements of the bid, I haven't seen the state of Ohio elements of the bid. So I can't comment on that. What I do know is that our people believe, when I say our people, ready, the leadership of business community in Northern Kentucky and Ohio, believe that we are making collectively a competitive bid and that everything they know about other bids across the country, that we're competitive. What I do know is why they should pick us, the top 10 reasons I mentioned. I've also said a number of times publicly, which I don't think is any state secret, that the most obvious locations that are walkable, urban, and can meet the requirements are the banks, Ovation, and of course we have surface parking lots throughout downtown that are ready and available by their owners, in the right circumstance. But the most obvious location for the 1 million square feet to begin this project are right here and at Ovation, and they're ready to go. And I love the fact that we're doing this together between Ohio and Kentucky. What we're offering as a city is just what we offer GE, the formula of support, which is based on how many jobs you create. That all got folded up into a much larger bid that included a whole bunch of information from Kentucky and Ohio that I have not seen, but I trust, based on the conversations I've been part of, that it's competitive and serious. We would absolutely do that, yeah. We're using the same formula that we use for GE.
Just 6 years ago, Mayor, there was a press conference over here with Mayor Mallory and Governor Kasich celebrating the arrival of some jobs from some companies called Omnicare and AC Nielsen, and they all moved from those buildings right behind you just 6 years ago, really putting a hole in the city of Covington's budget. What's changed in that short period of time to where now the regions don't look at each other as competitors, but are rather trying to work together?
Well, I like to think of it as the collaborative nature and personality of these wonderful people that you see up here, that we reach out our hand. And I know for Judge Executive Knockelman was hoping to be here today, but had a family issue that was real and could not be here, but expressed his 100% support for this approach. And obviously, I think I've gone out of my way to mention that Kentucky would be part of the winning bid. And I'm not ashamed of that fact. I think that's something to be excited about. We think that we won't hear anything before Christmas, but they are talking about trying to narrow it down to a final 2 or 3 by the first quarter of 2018, is what I've heard. It's just the same that we offered GE, which is that any net new job would be the income tax would be abated for a period of 15, I forget how many years, but obviously on a commitment that they stay longer than that. So short term, it's a win-win. Long term, we get all the jobs and the spill-off benefit.
What about the other bridge down the river? Is that a negative on our application for instance?
I believe that the Brent Bridge is going to get fixed. No one's bid is perfect, but I think for the 10 reasons I mentioned, as well as many others, I think we've got plenty of selling points. Well, I very much believe that, and I know that Commissioner Portune believes this, and I know that Denise Treehouse believes this, and I know my colleagues believe this, that we need more public transportation as a region, period. And I believe that we have a real chance to win this thing, and we're putting forth our best foot forward.
All right, that's all for today, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.